I have Mark and Keith's project to run the GTO down Route 66. We got our components in to start the conversion from gasoline to compressed natural gas, and Keith and I are going to try to show you guys what the components are, how they work, and where they're going to possibly sit in the car. And we'd love to hear your ideas, and if you've got any suggestions of things that we can do better or improve upon, please give us an email. Thanks.
Okay, we start off with the most noticeable part is the 3 two-barrel carburetors that we've got. And as you can tell, the natural gas carburetor is very similar to a gasoline carburetor, at least in the fact that there is a butterfly involved. And but beyond that, this has a gas inlet port over here.
What size is that?
Looks like about a half
about
inch.
A half inch.
And is screwed on with one of these radiator hose,
right,
or heater hose.
Right.
Type.
The kit that basically gave us this hose right here to go on those pieces, but what Keith and I are going to do is use a steel braided hose just to kind of spiff it up a little bit and make it look a little bit more presentable. And when you also notice on these carburetors, there's no air cleaner. So we're going to have to come up with some kind of idea to put on an air cleaner. Well, we have the air cleaners that came off of the original carburetors, the gasoline carburetors, but we don't think that they're going to look quite as good on top of the CNG carbs. And these carbs, by the way, are from AMCO. Very grateful that they had these.
You want to describe the inside of the bell?
This carburetor, really another regulator inside the carburetor. Obviously, it must step down the gas even more. We're assuming here, because we do not have a lot of experience with gas, natural gas, so I'm assuming that that's another step down. So basically, the system goes from 3,600 psi at the tank level, travels through the gas line, which is right here, Keith.
Yeah, this is the type that would run from the tank in the trunk underneath the car, parallel to the existing fuel
So
line.
this would sit outside. So it's coated for that reason, to be resistant from the elements, I guess.
Exactly.
Apparently that's what.
Protective, and it is CNG rated with 3,500 psi tested.
Okay, and so what is it? Is that about a quarter-inch pipe? And it's what? And what kind of fitting is going to go on there?
I think it's going to use these compression fittings.
Oh, I see them over here. All right, you've got this compression fitting. Okay.
Yeah, the type that you can take off, and it has this type slip nut that goes over, and as you tighten with the pipe inserted, as you tighten this up, it actually compresses that flange and bites into the pipe and seals it up. And
as far as the gas comes from the cylinder, which sits in the back of the car and goes through this gas line, and then what does it come to after it gets to the engine compartment?
Well, this is the first thing that it comes to, is this regulator that steps down the pressure. It'll screw into this end.
That's where the quarter-inch pipe will go in, right there?
Exactly.
Okay, all right.
And the regulator will step down the pressure to 150 psi, and it will exit from this port on this side. Opposite, you have a pop-off valve.
So
is
that
safety.
A safety?
What do you think about these, Mark?
So we can hook up some water, because I understand when the gas expands at that pressure level, it freezes. So if we are to keep the gas from freezing, we got to run some hot water through that.
Exactly. We'll splice it into the heater hose with some of the parts they supplied, and keep that warm for the decompression of the gas.
Awesome. Show us where the regulator is going to go on the car.
Okay, let's look up under the hood of the GTO. Look at this nice red area up here on the firewall. We have a bracket that will mount this regulator to the firewall here with the pop-off valve in the up position.
Yes.
The fuel feeder line coming in here, and of course this gives us access to these heater hoses that are very nearby that we can tap into. And then of course the outlet will come, the fuel outlet going over to the diaphragm will come out of the bottom.
Okay. Okay, we're back at the table.
All right, from this regulator, the next important thing that you need to know about is attaches underneath, and it is a solenoid. And describe the function there.
I guess the solenoid is going to be connected somehow to the ignition, so that when the ignition is off, no gas can come from the regulator into the diaphragm.
It's a safety cutoff valve.
Right.
From the safety cutoff valve, it does hold this type of hose, and supplied by MCO. And the other end is going to feed directly into our diaphragm here.
Got it.
And so this is still at 150 psi coming into the diaphragm, and the diaphragm steps it down and to about 5 psi. And on this side, Mark, describe this attachment and our plans.
Well, this right here is EMCO's answer for us right now, changing from one distribution center to 3, because we have a Tri-Carb setup. So what Keith and I have come up with, and we'd love to hear your input on this, is we're going to make some sort of manifold, maybe out of aluminum, that'll start at a 1-inch diameter and then come in and feed 3 half-inch diameter pipe out of it. And we'll probably go with like a braided hose. Attach the braided hose from particular like this. What Keith is showing, he's screwing this in. Well, instead of using the rubber hose that was given to us, which only has to, I understand that it only has about 5 pounds of pressure in the line itself. So we'll do a braided hose and attach it from there into the Tri-Carb setup and give it a nice custom look. Well, Keith, I guess everybody's going to want to know, how do you fill up the natural gas vehicle?
And that's the purpose of this, with the safety cap to keep the dust and the dirt out. But this is a chuck, almost like an air chuck style filler valve that was sent by MCO for the kit, and it will connect to the tank through a line with these same compression fittings on the end that you're used to seeing almost work with copper pipe.
Right.
And Mark has some plans to mount this in a special place on the GTO.
Well,
I'll let him tell you.
If 66, it has its gasoline filler is on the back of the car behind the license plate. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove the gasoline tank from the GTO. This will help reduce some of the weight on the GTO, and there won't be any need for it when we're finished with it. And we're going to go ahead and mount a bracket back there. This particular thing has a threaded nut on it, and it will allow us to tighten down on a bracket, which will put this thing facing out like this when you remove the license plate. Well, that's going to wrap up our video for tonight. We appreciate you guys watching. We want to give a very special thanks to Dave up at Carbon Turbo in Minnesota. Without his knowledge and his advice, what you've seen tonight wouldn't be possible. He's the one that helped us select the proper carburation for the conversion from the gasoline Tri-Carb setup to the natural gas Tri-Carb setup. Thank you again, Dave. We appreciate it. And hopefully soon we'll have another video out that will actually have us making the conversion to the GTO itself. Look for that soon. And we also want to remind everybody, while we try to make this look as simple as possible, working with compressed natural gas is a very, very serious matter. We thank you for your time, and have a great night.